We engage young people from across the North East and the North West of Glasgow to get involved in their communities.
At the start of lockdown, when I don't think anybody really knew what to do, we were there just sort of looking at what was going on in the community already and signposting young people to places they could get support.
COVID's changed YoMo, I'd say, quite substantially, because we were engaging with young people face to face on a weekly basis, on a nightly basis, and then that kind of had to change.
We listened to our young people, and that then developed what we have been doing just now and what we started to deliver. We got offered some funding, a small pot of funding of £2,000 from the Cora Foundation, and we created activity packs.
So I was asked if I could make up the secondary school pack, or the teen pack as I've been calling it, for 100 young people in Fergusley over 5 weeks. So I've been trying to make up almost like a different hobby a week for them to try out. This week we're giving them, it's gardening we're doing. So they're getting a pack full of like compost, flower pots, that sort of thing, to get them to try some new stuff as well and develop a wee bit more of those kind of soft skills and things that they say that the young people these days are kind of losing and missing out on.
During the delivery of these packs, we used that as an assessment process. We were getting some messages from young people that were asking that there was no food in the house. But we work with a high BME community, and a lot of the food packs didn't bring in our young people's cultural needs and even dietary needs. Although the food parcels were fantastic, we then looked at Cash for Kids, and Cash actually provided us with 3 grants over lockdown. The Glasgow the holiday food programme, we at YoMo were successful for getting that funding this year, which is our first year in receiving it. Again, we have been providing up to 40 young people with regular food vouchers on a weekly basis over the holidays, regular activity packs, but we're also doing a wee bit of outdoor youth work within the grounds of the BCDC. When the SQA decided and made the announcement that there was to be no exams and school closed, the young people went into meltdown. It was a really difficult situation.
There was so much information out there and young people didn't know what was correct information, what was like stuff that they were just seeing on Facebook. We had YoMo staff on the phone constantly, messaging young people, supporting young people to try and get them to see that a wee bit of the bigger picture, that you know it's devastating, but it's not the end of the world, but it is the end of the world for you, and that's okay to feel like that. I think the results day is the 4th of August, so yeah, I'll be clearing my schedule that day, making sure I'm available to have chats and maybe schedule some like socially distanced catch-ups in the park or something, a park that's local to them, just so that they've got a space to talk about it.
And kind of now, as lockdown restrictions are kind of easing off, we're allowed to do a bit more outdoor youth work. So we're now outside the centre still, but we've got like gazebos up and tables outside to just try and get back to a little bit of normality.
Well, since COVID, a lot of young people have lost some of their skill set to be able to communicate with others. So for the young people here, it's been a while since they've been outdoors playing with their children.
It's really important to get them back, to get young people back out and involved in the community. As most of the young people we were working with were in primary school, so they were mixing with up to like 30 different people a day, playing outdoors, doing sports in the classroom, learning. Then they went to being absolutely isolated in their home, just with maybe their parents or their carers and some brothers and sisters. So going from mixing with all those people to absolutely nothing can really take a bad toll on your mental health, as you don't realise how much you rely on people to make you happy.
This afternoon is our first meet up with the young people since lockdown. We've been asked by a woman I know who's a nurse at the Royal Hospital Glasgow, said her ward needs a bit of cheering up, so we're going to make posters today with some maybe like positive messages and things on it to put up in the ward and sort of spread a bit of positivity and for the patients up at the Royal. I think for their mental well-being, getting even just meeting up outside like we're doing just now is going to be huge. I think it's going to be great for them.
And as time's went on, we've actually went out and met up, socially distanced walks around park, and this was one of the things that the Wellbeing Fund has supported, and so we decided that we need to do some sort of challenge.
So we came up with the idea of the YoMo Marathon, which is walking the distance of a marathon over a month.
Just having that chance to even go out and a walk and talk with them and catch up. I think because we've worked so hard to build these relationships with these young people and get them to kind of talk to us about things, and we really didn't want to lose that by not seeing them during the lockdown.
The idea sparked that if you do like a 10k in Glasgow or like normal circumstances, sometimes at the end you get a wee t-shirt or a medal to say that you've taken part. So they came up with the idea of people that took part should be able to get a t-shirt, and maybe that will motivate them to get involved and take part.
Going forward, I think it was going to be difficult to continue what we're doing at the moment. I think there's still going to be a need for definitely some of the services that we have developed. Whether there's funding for that, we don't know. This is what we're looking at the moment.
I think what I've learned the most during lockdown with working with young people is, as confident as they may seem in person, it is a different kettle of fish when you are trying to speak to them online or over the phone. That's when I think the self-esteem kind of issues start to come out a bit. The amount of times we had Zoom calls, and so I was literally looking at like a 14-year-old's forehead because she just wouldn't show me her face.
So I think the biggest thing that YoMo has learned through this process is to be really flexible. I think we always did that in the past, but it has been one of the things that's driven us forward in this COVID-19 process.
In YoMo, everything's changing constantly, and I always thought that was like really fast-paced and hard to keep up with. But going from like being so busy to doing absolutely nothing during COVID-19, I kind of took for granted how much I actually enjoyed being busy, and how much benefit that YoMo has to the community and to the young people that get involved in it.